Kristen, Lauren, Jensen, and Caitlin are your average high school teenagers, ready to go to college and definitely not ready to get married. What an interesting fact, you may be thinking. And why did they ask that? Well, that's because we came across the issue of childhood marriage. And to get the point across about how terrifying this issue is, we popped the question. How would you feel if you came home one day and your mom told you you were going to get married to a man you didn't know today?
I think I'd be really shocked and be like, Mom, what the heck, are you kidding me? And like if she was like, yeah, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'd feel like so like heartbroken and so upset because I have so many plans for myself of wanting to marry someone I love, and this is definitely not someone I love.
I'd be like mad, obviously.
I would not want to do that at all. I wouldn't like it.
I would feel betrayed because like my whole life I would have thought like, oh, I get to marry like the man like that I love, but now I have to like marry someone that I don't know. Yeah.
I'd be devastated because you're supposed to marry someone you love, not like somebody who's chosen for you.
I would disagree. I would be very upset because I believe that you should choose who you marry, and because it's deeper than just like having your parents decide for you. Like you should decide who you want to marry. And
Each year, 12 million girls under the age of 18 are forced into marriage. That is 23 girls every minute.
If there is no reduction in childhood marriage by the year 2050, the number of girls under 18 married with kids will be 1.2 billion.
Niger holds the number one spot with the most amount of childhood marriages at 76%, followed by Central African Republic at 68% and Chad at 67%.
At its heart, childhood marriage is rooted in gender inequality and the belief that girls and women are somehow inferior to boys and men.
Childhood marriage is a complex issue. Poverty, lack of education, cultural practices, and insecurity fuel and sustain the practice.
But the drives will vary from one community to the next, and the practice may look different across regions and countries. In America, the law allows for girls under the age of 18 to get married with parental consent. In the last 15 years, more than 207,000 minors have been legally wed in the United States, many marrying below the age of consent to sex in their states.
Even though they may give consent to the marriage and it is legalized by their parents or a judge, it is still childhood marriage. There is a sense of human dignity taken away from the girls who marry under the age of 18. They lose the chance to individually find themselves and their possible calling on this earth.
In many communities where childhood marriage is practiced, girls are not as valued as much as boys. They are seen as a burden on their family. Marrying your daughter at a young age can be viewed as a way to ease economic hardships by transferring this burden to her husband's family. The older the girl becomes, the higher the dowry the parents owe the husband. This reason is simply to benefit the family's financial needs. Focusing on the money aspect of this situation, one can identify how this issue really depresses a woman's self-worth and dignity to basic human life.
Child marriage is also driven by patriarchal values and the desire to control female sexuality. For instance, how a girl should behave, how she should dress, who she should be allowed to see and to marry.
In Bangladesh, one girl explains that she got married at the age of 10 to her 16-year-old cousin to please her grandmother. At 13 years of age, she now has a 6-month-old daughter. She tells about how she wishes to become a teacher.
This way of life denies all girls the ability to reach their potential. It can be said that child marriage is a type of social suicide as they cannot live their life according to their will and what they were called to. They cannot benefit to the world the way they should be doing.
This interests us for many reasons. The most obvious reason is, as young girls, we can personally sympathize with the girls our own age being married off and giving up their freedoms.
We cannot imagine having our bright futures dimmed by the patriarchal idea of childhood marriage. As young girls in the United States, it is difficult to imagine having our lives taken away from us at such a young age.
It's disappointing that our advanced society continues to look past the fact that women's rights are being suffocated by subjecting young girls to marriage, no matter their religious beliefs or social status.
Childhood marriage is a social and ethical issue that has been around for thousands of years and still has a presence in our society today.
In the New Testament, Jesus taught about the sanctity of marriage. Haven't you read, he replied, that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, for this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate.
Marriage includes a unique unity between a man and a woman. It should be placed as a high priority where both the man and the woman get a say in who they want to spend the rest of their life with.